guys, it's Mishel, Deception Bytes. Happy Friday to you. They released the memo. Fire in the hole. Who knows what's going to happen next, but I am so excited that we've been waiting for this and waiting for this and waiting for this. So I am really, really, really excited. So what I'm going to do, I am going to just touch on a few things, and then I'm going to go over the memo. The Schiff really is hitting the fan now and splattering everywhere. So it remains to be seen what the fallout is going to be from all of this. But it's exciting because we have been pushing for this. I know you guys have been pushing for this and waiting for this day to arrive with bated breath, and it's here. So I have read through the memo, all of it, and I've read through it actually 3 or 4 times now. And I have kind of looked at certain things in it, and I am going to go over it with you guys. But I also want to just touch on a few other things. Now, this memo proves everything we've been saying. The Obama administration was in bed with the Clinton campaign to abuse power of government in an effort to sabotage Trump's campaign. Now, we've known this for a very long time. Now it's out in the open. They can stop calling us conspiracy theorists and making fun of us and saying that we're all, Russian bots. They can, now, hopefully this is going to wake up the mainstream media, but I don't know. I have not kind of dissected that news yet to really be able to tell what they're saying and how they're trying to spin this, but you can be sure that they will. Now, what does the memo allege? Well, it alleges everything that we've been talking about with Q all along. The dossier, authored by former British intelligence officer Christopher Steele, was an essential part of the FBI and the Justice Department's justification for conducting electronic surveillance of Carter Page. And Carter Page was an employee of the Trump campaign, but he's not in government, but he was an employee. Now, it also notes the dossier was funded by the DNC and Hillary Clinton's campaign. We've known this, right? We've known this because, gosh, back in October when I guess it was actually, I think it was October that he began to post Q. And so we've known about this, and this is just confirmation. That's all this is to us. Steele said he was, quote, desperate that Donald Trump not get elected. Sounds like that's a nice unbiased man right there. This clear evidence of Steele's bias wasn't reflected in any of the applications to authorize the electronic surveillance. And in a FISA document, you're supposed to put both positive and negative. It's supposed to be unbiased. The application is supposed to be unbiased, and there has to be probable cause for wanting to wiretap or whatever, put someone under surveillance. So the FBI also was using Yahoo News articles to obtain wiretapping warrants. Yeah. There you go. Now, I wanted to alert you all to this, or just bring your attention to really this Trump tweet. With 3.5 million Americans receiving bonuses or other benefits from their employers as a result of tax cuts, 2018 is off to a great start. Unemployment rate at 4.1%, average earnings up 2.9 in the last year, 200,000 new American jobs, and Make America Great Again, U.S. Now, and that just goes with the Associated Press, because they're breaking a news story that the U.S. employers have added 200,000 jobs in January. Paychecks rose at the fastest pace in 8 years. So those that are always dumping on Trump, and I am not a pro-Trump person. I'm neutral, but because I want to wait and see. But on the other hand, I have nothing to fault him with so far. Okay, so he insults people. Well, I think that is one of his strategies. I really do. And it works for him. It really does. But, I look at this and I can't there's no way to take away from this achievement. There's no way, unless you're just making stuff up. So I give kudos where kudos are due. So the Associated Press, okay, we just read that. Now, here's a tweet by Representative Jim Gordon, which I really liked. FBI takes, quote, salacious and unverified dossier to secret court to get secret warrant to spy on a fellow American. And FBI doesn't tell the court that the DNC/Clinton campaign paid for that dossier. And they did that 4 times. 4 times. 4. What do you think of that? I know what I think about it. And I found this little meme that I had to include. PMSD, post-memo stress disorder. That's what the Democrats are suffering from today, I am quite sure. Now, let's get into the memo. This is it. Now, what I have done, and this memo can be found anywhere. It's everywhere. And so I took the PDF and I converted it into a Word file so that I could make my own little notes on it. But I have not changed anything in this, and you can go out and you can confirm that for yourself. So I'm not going to read this part because it's kind of an introduction to it. And if, I'm sure you guys, if I know you guys, you've already been out there looking at this stuff anyway. So I'm not going to read it. It's just basically an introduction to it and saying, about the declassification process and all that. Now, here we're getting into it. And this was CC'd or copied to the Honorable Paul Ryan and the less than Honorable Adam Schiff, who, as I said yesterday, is most certainly shifting his pants right now. So this is to the HPSCI majority members, and the HPSCI majority members are the following. And I have put this here. I'm not going to go down through all these, but hopefully let me make this a little bit bigger for you so that you can see it, and leave it on there for a second so that if you want to go out and look these people up, you can also find the same stuff on WikiLeaks. So I thought there was another note here somewhere. Now, the United States House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence, also known as the House Intelligence Committee, oversees all or part of the following. Now, that's the people that this is addressed to, and they oversee a lot. I didn't actually realize they oversaw all this stuff. So I'm learning a lot as I go along. But yeah, they've got a lot of responsibility and a lot of oversight. So, and you can see there, Department of Homeland Security, Energy, Defense, Defense Intelligence Agency, CIA, Department of Treasury, Drug Enforcement Administration, FBI, NSA, Office of Naval Intelligence. So, these guys are overseeing a lot. So, let's go over here. And first, now this actually got messed up a little bit when I converted it over, but it basically says unclassified at the top, and it says who it's to, majority members, majority staff, subject, Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act abuses at the Department of Justice and the Federal Bureau of Investigation. And because these guys oversee both of those departments, that's why this concerns them. Now, purpose. This memorandum provides members an update on significant facts relating to the committee's ongoing investigation into the Department of Justice and Federal Bureau of Investigation and their use of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, FISA, during the 2016 presidential election cycle. Our findings, which are detailed below, 1, raise concerns with the legitimacy and legality of certain DOJ and FBI interactions with the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court, FISC, and 2, represent a troubling breakdown of legal processes established to protect the American people from abuses relating to the FISA process. Now, FISA, of course, is Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, and anything in red is mine. FISC is the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court. So those are kind of interchangeable. Investigation update. On October 21st, 2016, the DOJ and FBI sought and received a FISA probable cause order not under Title 7, authorizing electronic surveillance on Carter Page from the FISC. Page is a U.S. citizen who served as a volunteer advisor to the Trump presidential campaign. Now, I've written a note here that Carter Page is an American oil industry consultant and a former foreign policy advisor to Donald Trump during his 2016 presidential election campaign. And a lot of this centers on him because this is who they got the FISA. They took the FISA document, the FISA application or whatever, to the FISC court to get permission to spy on basically this person. So, consistent with requirements under FISA, the application had to be first certified by the director or deputy director of the FBI. It then required the approval of the Attorney General, Deputy Attorney General, or the Senate-confirmed Assistant Attorney General for the National Security Division. So, the requirements for the FISA was first, it had to be certified by the director or deputy director of the FBI. And then it had to gain the approval of one of these people, the Attorney General, Deputy Attorney General, or the Senate-confirmed Assistant Attorney General for the National Security Division. Okay, so 2 people had to sign off on that. 2 departments, rather. Well, 2 people, too. Now, the FBI and DOJ obtained 1 initial FISA warrant targeting Carter Page and 3 FISA renewals from the FISA court. As required by Statute 50 U.S.C. 1805 D1, a FISA order on an American citizen must be renewed by the court, the FISA court, every 90 days. And each renewal requires a separate finding of probable cause. So once you have these 2 people approving this document and it's taken to the FISA court to gain a warrant, then you have to, it expires in 90 days. So they can use this warrant for 90 days, but then they have to have it renewed so that they can determine that there's still probable cause for targeting this person with surveillance. Okay? So not only did the FBI and DOJ obtain 1 initial warrant, but they renewed it 3 times. Okay? So then Director James Comey signed 3 FISA applications in question on behalf of the FBI, and Deputy Director Andrew McCabe signed 1. Then the Deputy Attorney General Sally Yates, then acting Deputy Attorney General Dana Buente, and Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein each signed 1 or more FISA applications on behalf of the DOJ. So all these people are complicit, right? Because their signatures are on that. Now, I also want to say that, they kept saying how dangerous it was to release this because of sensitive information and it was putting our nation at risk, security risk. Well, I've read through here, and there's absolutely nothing that puts our nation at risk, and it just shows how ridiculous the Democrats are being. So, due to the sensitive nature of foreign intelligence activity, FISA submissions, including renewals, before the FISA court are classified. Now, they're classified, so they're, not just anybody can look at them. As such, the public's confidence in the integrity of the FISA process depends on the court's ability to hold the government to the highest standard, particularly as it relates to surveillance of American citizens. So what they're saying here is, since we, the public, can't just go and look at these documents, through the Freedom of Information Act because they're classified, it's important that the court hold the government to the highest standard because there isn't any oversight by the public. So the court has to be trustworthy. And of course, the court is going on information they receive from the government. So, however, the FISA court's rigor in protecting the rights of Americans, which is reinforced by 90-day renewals of surveillance orders, is necessarily dependent on the government's production to the court of all materials and relevant facts. So the FISA court, is trusting that those coming with a FISA application are presenting all the material and all relevant facts. They're not leaving out anything, and they're not including anything erroneous. Everything is true to the best of their ability, and the court trusts that that's what they're doing. This should include information potentially favorable to the target of the FISA application that is known by the government. So if they were bringing this information about Carter Page to the attention of the FISA court through an application to get a warrant, they should have included any information that would have been also favorable to Carter Page as well as detrimental, but that wasn't done. In the case of Carter Page, the government had at least 4 independent opportunities before the FISA court to accurately provide an accounting of the relevant facts. However, our findings indicate that, as described below, material and relevant information was omitted. The dossier, compiled by Christopher Steele, and of course, if you've been listening to these videos and if you've been following Q, you know full well who Christopher Steele is, and that is the author of the Steele dossier on behalf of the Democratic National Committee and the Hillary Clinton campaign, formed an essential part of the Carter Page FISA application. Steele was a longtime FBI source who was paid over $160,000 by the DNC and Clinton campaign via the law firm Perkins Coie and research firm Fusion GPS to obtain derogatory information on Donald Trump's ties to Russia, which of course we know now there never were those ties. And the only ties to Russia are on behalf of Hillary Clinton and Steele and Obama. So Steele was a longtime FBI source, and he was paid by the DNC and Clinton campaign to produce this dossier. And he's already said that he didn't want Trump elected. So, yeah. Now, neither the initial application in October 2016 nor any of the renewals disclose or reference the role of the DNC, Clinton campaign, or any party campaign in funding Steele's effort, even though the political origins of the Steele dossier were then known to senior DOJ and FBI officials. So they left that information out, that he was being paid to produce this, and that he was very anti-Trump. That was all conveniently left out. The initial FISA application notes Steele was working for a named U.S. person, but does not name Fusion GPS and principal Jen Glenn Simpson, who was paid by a U.S. law firm, Perkins Coie, representing the DNC, even though it was known by DOJ at that time that political actors were involved with the Steele dossier. The application does not mention Steele was ultimately working on behalf of and paid by the DNC and Clinton campaign, or that the FBI had separately authorized payments to Steele for the same information. Wow. It's one thing when we're hearing it from Q. It's another when we're seeing it. Officially seeing it. You can't deny it now. Well, I guess you can if you're stupid, but unbelievable. Now, the Carter Page FISA application also cited extensively a September 23rd, 2016 Yahoo News article by Michael Isikoff, which focuses on Page's July 2016 trip to Moscow. Okay, so Page took a trip to Moscow. Big freaking deal. Lots of people I know have taken a trip to Moscow. This article does not corroborate the Steele dossier because it is derived from information leaked by Steele himself to Yahoo News. Can you believe this? Steele leaks the information to Yahoo News and then cites Yahoo News as a credible reference, a credible, they use that as a reason for this FISA warrant. Unbelievable. The Page FISA application incorrectly assesses that Steele did not directly provide information to Yahoo News. Steele has admitted in British court filings that he met with Yahoo News and several other outlets in September 2016 at the direction of Fusion GPS. Perkins Coie was aware of Steele's initial media contacts because they hosted at least one meeting in Washington, D.C. in 2016 with Steele and Fusion GPS, where the matter was discussed. Oh, I feel like I'm wading in mud. Steele was suspended and then terminated as an FBI force for what the FBI defines as the most serious of violations, an unauthorized disclosure to the media of his relationship with the FBI in an October 30th, 2016 Mother Jones article by David Kahn. Steele should have been terminated for his previous undisclosed contacts with Yahoo and other outlets in September before the Page application was submitted to the FISA court in October, but Steele improperly concealed from and lied to the FBI about those contacts. Well. Curiouser and curiouser. Steele's numerous encounters with the media violated the cardinal rule of source handling, maintaining confidentiality, and demonstrated that Steele had become a less than reliable source for the FBI. Before and after Steele was terminated as a source, he maintained contact with the DOJ via then Associate Deputy Attorney General Bruce Orr. And I've got an article relating to him. Now, he is a senior DOJ official who worked closely with Deputy Attorneys General General Yates and later Rosenstein. Shortly after the election, the FBI began interviewing Orr, documenting his communications with Steele. For example, in September 2016, Steele admitted to Orr his feelings against then-candidate Trump when Steele said he was desperate that Donald Trump not get elected and was passionate about him not being president. This is clear evidence of Steele's bias. This clear evidence of Steele's bias was recorded by Orr at the time and subsequently in official FBI files, but was not reflected in any of the Page FISA applications. Now, this is Orr, and I remember him being in the news, but I didn't realize all the connections, which are now starting to fly together. DOJ official who concealed meetings with Trump dossier figures losing another job title. Sorry.
Ici,
Hang on.
nous formons les élèves les plus performants en province.
Now, a Justice Department official demoted late last year for concealing his meeting with the men behind the anti-Trump dossier has been stripped of yet another title, Fox News has learned. Bruce Orr is no longer head of the Organized Crime Drug Enforcement Task Force. Separately, sources familiar with the discussions tell Fox News that the Justice Department is expected to comply with demands from the House Intelligence Committee to provide Orr for an interview. He is scheduled to visit the committee on January 17th, sources said. So, yeah. Fox News first reported in December that Orr had been demoted from the position of Associate Deputy Attorney General after it was revealed he had conducted undisclosed meetings with dossier author Christopher Steele and Glenn Simpson of Fusion GPS, the opposition research firm that produced the salacious document. All right. So, let's go back to where we were. Now, during the same time period, Orr's wife was employed by Fusion GPS. And I've got a news article about that, but I'm not going to go out to it right now because I'm trying to keep this at a reasonable length. So during this time period, Orr's wife was employed by Fusion GPS to assist in the cultivation of opposition research on Trump. Orr later provided the FBI with all of his wife's opposition research paid for the DNC and Clinton campaign via Fusion GPS. The Orr's relationship with Steele and Fusion GPS was inexplicably concealed from the FISA court. And of course it would be. It would need to be, or they wouldn't have got the warrant. Taking a quick drink, sorry. All right. According to the head of the FBI, Counterintelligence Division Assistant Director Bill Priestap, corroboration, my lips, I don't know, it's like my lips are drunk. Corroboration of the Steele dossier was in its infancy at the time of the initial page FISA application. After Steele was terminated, a source validation report conducted by an independent unit within FBI assessed Steele's reporting as only minimally corroborated. Yet in early January 2017, Director Comey briefed President-elect Trump on a summary of the Steele dossier, even though it was, according to his June 2017 testimony, salacious and unverified. While the FISA application relied on Steele's past record of credible reporting on other unrelated matters, it ignored or concealed his anti-Trump financial and ideological motivations. Furthermore, Deputy Director McCabe testified before the committee in December 2017 that no surveillance warrant would have been sought from the FISA court without the Steele dossier information. Now, this is the last page. The page FISA application also mentions information regarding fellow Trump campaign advisor George Papadopoulos, but there is no evidence of any cooperation or conspiracy between Page and Papadopoulos. The Papadopoulos information triggered the opening of an FBI counterintelligence investigation in late 2016 by FBI agent Peter Strzok. Strzok was reassigned by the Special Counsel Office to FBI Human Resources for improper text messages with his mistress, FBI attorney Lisa Page, no known relation to Carter Page, where they both demonstrated a clear bias against Trump and in favor of Clinton, whom Strzok had also investigated. The Strzok-Lisa Page texts also reflect extensive discussions about the investigation, orchestrating leaks to the media, and include a meeting with Deputy Director McCabe to discuss an insurance policy against President Trump's election. And that's exactly what the whole Russia thing was about. It was all about an insurance policy, that if he gets in, we'll accuse him of colluding with the Russians and we'll get him impeached and removed. That was the whole thing. So now you see that Trump is vindicated as far as I'm concerned. There's been no Russian collusion except by the very people that accused him. So there's that, and obviously there's no Russian bots either that are tweeting out vast numbers of tweets about releasing the memo. So anyway, that is the memo, and I'm looking forward to seeing your comments and what you all think about this. I am really happy that this has come out. I think that this is just the beginning. I think that we're getting ready to see a big shift storm, and well, I guess we can all get ready. So thank you so much for listening. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, and I hope it continues to be wonderful, and I will talk to you soon. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all. Like and subscribe. Bye-bye.